let's get to the scanning first.
Updates. The following set of images are mock-ups done by Garusau, a lovely SC Leaks community member with a penchant for excellent graphical design. We'll look closely at this particular photo to go over some of the...
Okay, so this is one of their members in their own community. This isn't going to be the actual thing that you see in game. Thank you, Santa Claus, for that subscription, bro. Bengal goodness coming in there. Thank you so much for subscribing, man. I appreciate you. So this is mock-up graphics that one of the Star Citizen Leaks guys put up here, but it will tell us what they're going to be dealing with when scanning people, actual in-game players. So this is pretty interesting.
Finer details. This particular version of the UI allowed the player to retrieve the following information. Name, which allows the player to see the name of the NPC. Contract, which allows the player to see the contract name related to the NPC.
I hope it's more than NPC, though. I hope it's more than NPC. And you would imagine that it would have to be. You would imagine that it would have to be in order to have those really cool the game loops I'm looking for, which are the player and player-driven mechanics and gameplay. So hopefully they will add this to what we're going to be able to do if you're an actual bounty hunter going after actual pirates. Yeah, they are mock-ups. They are absolutely mock-ups. So that is something you guys should keep in mind. But these are the things that we will see when we scan, according to Star Citizen Leaks.
Being scanned.
Not necessarily in this format, though, Captain.
The group and NPCs associated with. Crime stat, which lists the crime stat of the NPC. Last sighting. Currently, this function lists the location of the NPC. I speculate this would be whatever an NPC
That's cool.
last scanned by a comm array. Reward. Likely the reward for any
the money that you're going to get. Select. So this is also cool because this means you can actually track people in cities. So the bounty hunting won't be just like going to an asteroid field and tracking somebody out in space. It will also mean down on the ground, get nitty gritty, going after NPCs like in ArcCorp. That's cool. That's cool.
Target. Bounty hunters assigned. List possible competing hunters for you or yourself if you are the hunter. Crime stat. No clue why it's listed twice. Possible placeholder. This is not a mistake on the part of Garusau. Last known vehicle. States the name of the vehicle last driven by an NPC.
That guy needs a new
speculation
ship.
With my last sighting claim that this will likely take whether or not you were sighted by a comm array into account. This unknown badge placement here is something that we're going to assume is a badge of the enlisted group of the NPC. Delivery location. Possibly either the destination of an NPC
where you would take them. Yeah, the delivery location is going to be where you deliver your bounty to, like where the payout comes from.
Or the sucker after you bag them. Equipment. The current equipment on an NPC. Think guns, armors, etc. Blah blah blah. Apart from these listed stats is the citizen number listed in the center, your distance to the target, and this little percentage bar to the left here.
Percentage bar?
Some speculation on this bar is that if you remember back to the 2.6 Evocati days, there was a test on-foot scanning functionality, which used a target bar to determine the distance you scan
on foot. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember
that. To talk
that.
about what this UI even means, as of around 3 or 4 months ago when I had received these images from one of my sources, these were all in-game. Everything worked alongside a test mission, the dealer.
Wow! Whoa! Apparently this is already in-game. These are things that these are elements of game design that are in there that people are playing, or probably the designers. So when they're saying sources, you can pretty much speculate here that they're talking about people that are working at Cloud Imperium. Shame! Hey, Noel, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. That's pretty interesting, though, right? Because, I mean, I would, like, be pretty safe to say, like, 80% to 90% safe to say that, like, this is an employee giving Star Citizen Leaks the information. I don't know. Just speculating there.
Basically, you were tasked to search for a man out of a crowd who was associated with a drug ring. This early UI essentially allowed the player to give every NPC a visual search to determine the culprit, a drug dealer. What this test UI allows for the future is more depth in future bounty hunting missions. Not always will your target be in the middle of an asteroid field, ready to just get pot-shotted. Sometimes they'll be prowling the town, having themselves a little bit of a party. This UI, of course, is likely greatly changed.
Yeah, this is kind of cool.
Early exploration.
I would really like to see this with actual players too. Could you imagine being able to scan players that are pirates and then taking the information and selling it? You know, we were talking about this a long time ago. We were theory crafting it with a data running vehicle which later became a Drake ship, which is the oh my goodness, the name escapes me, but the Drake has a ship that's a data runner, and a lot of people were saying nah, and boom. I would like to take this same type of information, then be able to sell it, to bounty hunters. Harold, thank you, Noel. Thank you.
So take everything shown today at face value. Moving on, we're going to go over some of the more recent topics. You might have heard of a certain...
I don't think so either. And Effigy says, I don't think this makes a difference between the players and NPCs. I don't either. I think you'll be being able to do these actions with both makes sense. But right now, what Hater is saying is that like we're just strictly talking about NPCs. But I think that we should be able to flow right into being able to do this with other gamers and players. It only makes sense to me.
Shocked quite a few. Let it be known that this was more expected than you'd think.
Oh, here we go.
With being on deck for Pyro and some of the other Stantum system environmental updates, such as the Grimhex touch-up, the Microtech New Babbage extension, as well as the new stations and Aaron Halo. An update to a planet which would theoretically add no extra gameplay value was on low priority compared to the other content. If you really think about it, the only possible new gameplay expansion available would be Gas Giant Traversal. Anywho, let me give you a bit of a peek inside how this stuff is actually...
I think there's a little bit more gameplay in the cards for Crusader than just that, and the fact that they need so much work to be done on Crusader. Like anytime you get close to Crusader, let's face it, the graphics are real rough. Like the gas bands going around Crusader right now are so very rough. There's no smooth quality to it. It's just because it is so large. They really need to smooth it out a little bit. There's going to need a lot of work, and Orison is going to be a floating city. Like, what's the Star Wars city? God, I'm having so many brain farts today. Bethspa? What is it? What is the floating cloud city in Star Wars? Oh, Bespin. Thank you. I knew it started with a B.
Actually developed.
And whales. Don't forget about the whales in the gas clouds.
Around a dozen or so members each.
Go Captain Ahab mode.
Only receives just one of these teams. The team responsible for Arison has only recently gotten their hands back on deck to start up Arison and Company, but progress wasn't great before the pause. This isn't to say progress didn't exist. The project was in a whiteboxing stage. It's just that this is going to take a lot of time before it hits release ready. New Babbage, according to my sources, had taken a dozen or so artists about 8 months to create, which you may ask, that lead to a Q4 2021 Q1 release, correct? No. Arison had been stated to be even greater technical challenge than even ArtCorp because of a mixture of technical challenges regarding a floating city and wanting to hit the new Babbage standards set within the most recent city. With these dates, they'd theoretically decided a Q1, Q2 split release would be a good idea. Now you may be asking, why are you saying theoretically? Well, I also want to touch upon the split between developers and the community management team. It's good to realize that the community managers don't exactly know everything, nor do the developers. Something the developers I spoke to didn't know was that CIG was going to announce these Q1, Q2 splits.
And that's primarily because these guys all aren't on the same page most of the time. All these different teams, and the way they busted them down to like 4 members per team. With this staggered development that they announced sometime last year, none of these teams seem to know what the other team is doing, and that might be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. There should be like a unification list for all these teams that they can go to see what's going on. I hope that there is. You would think that there is, but from what I'm seeing, and from what I'm reading and researching, it seems like a lot of these teams are not knowing what other teams are doing. And I don't know if that's intentful by Chris or if it's just something that needs kind of massaged out and managed a little bit better.
Nothing further to really speak about there. I just thought it was a bit of an interesting detail. Our last topic regards a certain avian ship that had just been recently confirmed by CIG themselves. The Tevarin Talon. Don't have an image to share today, however, that should be fixed in the coming days by CIG proper. Just wanted to give a bit more information regarding whether or not you'll see it too soon, and just about the ship in general. Everything from SitCon still supplies. And
this is from SitCon, what they're going to show, I'm imagining here, and we actually looked at this and talked about this on the second episode of Star Citizen Leaks, where I appeared on the Star Citizen Leaks YouTube channel, and I talked with Execute and Hater about this. And I thought this was going to be, even though it's kind of like a light type of alien fighter, I thought because of the fact that it's alien, anytime anything there's alien, that's listed that you can jack up the price by about $100. I was thinking this was going to be north of like 175, but the guys were saying, Hater and Execute were thinking this ship's probably going to be like around the 120 to 170 range. So I'm not quite sure where the price is going to land on this. I think it was size 2, 2 size 2s. It wasn't like this thing had a lot of beef behind it either. And I don't think a lot of Tevarin ships are going to be designed that way. I think mostly Tevarin ships are going to be fairly light, decently shielded, very nimble, very agile type of ships because it is a bird type alien species race. So it only makes sense that they're a little bit more agile.
Tevarin light fighter meant to be an escort ship for the Prowler. Not unlike the Prowler it hails from, it sports an all-black color scheme. The image shared by CIG proper earlier was likely a tease of a paint scheme exclusive to Concierge members. Unlike the concept shown at SitCon, I've been told it resembles none of them exactly. We'll go on a little bit more about that in a second. Unlike the Rock, which
I think I was told
a price for
by one of the people that tell me what's going on is the one on the bottom mixed with the one on the top.
Talon. From these same sources, I was told that the ship was shown off a bit too early. Not days, however. Weeks. According to my sources, it leans towards flight ready, but none of them know for sure other than it had a higher development work done for it than a simple mock-up model, typical to a concept sale. Now to ramp things up, a bit of a visual description of the Talon for y'all. Straight from the source. For the Talon, take the bottom one, give it the nose of the Prowler and the wings of the one on top.
Right.
Make it look sleeker. That's
what I
basically
was
the
told
Talon.
too.
The front of the Talon kind of.
I think it's going to
like
look really nice, though. I'm a
Hence why
big
I'm
fan of
mentioning the
Tevarin
Prowler.
species.
These,
and the
of course,
design.
referencing the images shown at CitizenCon, which I will have a graphic demonstrating those images here. Anywho, that wraps up today's.
If you missed that, go to the channel and see the one I appear on because we talk about those 3 ships. And the one I was most excited about was the refinery ship and how it would work with the mole.
Show new UI. Do you believe they'll be able to flesh out a current bounty hunting mission set? What about Crusader? Are you disappointed? I know one thing for sure, I'm excited for the future. Stick around with us next time where we'll go over the abandoned ship concept, the Misk Dart. Thanks to our Patreons on Patreon for the kind donation.
All right, so that's the end of that. So that's interesting information to be shared. Interesting leak. I dig it. I wanted to share that with you. Thanks, Killian. God bless you, man. Killian. What can I say, man? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at the amount of cheers that you got here. Thank you. Cheering the whole way through. Thank you, Killian, so much. And thank you, Santa Claus, for that subscription as well. I appreciate you guys for your support. Thanks for supporting the channel here. Hope you enjoyed the discussion we had with the fam about these particular leaks. The content keeps rolling on. Thanks everybody for joining the stream today. If you're watching on YouTube, see you on the next video stream. If you're watching here, guys, super appreciate you. And like I said before, see you on the next video stream. I had a wonderful time tonight with you guys. Little bonus content too. And I'll be online tomorrow. I'll be streaming tomorrow morning. And we will be talking about the IG Inside Gaming pieces on Star Citizen, how Star Citizen fans are angry. But we're going to get into a real talk. We're going to get into a really real talk. And I hope I see you guys tomorrow because that's one of the many things we're going to talk about in the morning. I'm going to get my coffee. We're going to start early, probably around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just going to chill out in the morning and have a good time together like we do on our DG in the mornings and talk about just about anything and everything. Wish me luck on my diet. And I will see you guys soon. Love you, fam.